I'm going to tell you a bit about the type of journey that I often take a client on, and I call it the Seven Bridges journey. And yes, I am an Eagles fan. If you are too, then you know where that terminology comes from. But the Bridges journey is about taking you over obstacles and getting to the other side over bridges so that you have a link from where you were to where you want to be and a way to get there. So the first bridge number one, is about your brain. And that's where I begin. So I have training with the Amen Clinics and I've studied the brain. It has a lot to do with how you function, obviously, how you're thinking, the shape that your brain is in, the brain type that you have. I begin with the brain, and especially if a person has had issues with substance use, their brain needs healing, it needs to recover. If a person has low mood or has issues with mental health, there are things that you can do with food and supplementation that can really drastically help your brain and change the way that you feel. So that's the first one. The second bridge is your physical body. And that's where I'm talking about, the food that you are eating, not just for your brain, but for your blood sugar levels and how the way that you are in your body, the postures that you have can affect your mood. There's all kinds of things that people don't realize. I'm not talking about just, have diet and exercise. There's so much more to it than what that is. And you can go to the gym or you can get advice like that from just about anybody. But my take on this is really unique in respects to your mental health, your brain, and your mood. Bridge number three is the mind. This is my favorite one, and probably the one that we spend the most time on, is how do we think differently so that we have a different result. Remember, we're crossing over that bridge, and this is the one with the most troublesome waters underneath of it, is how we've been thinking all of our lives. Now, I only work with critical thinkers. These are people who often are deep in thought and they think a lot. They're overthinkers most of the time, driven, perfectionistic, and their thoughts will drive them right into the ground or drive them to drink. So, getting our thoughts under control is absolutely huge. The next one is your emotions. Your emotions follow your thoughts. And what are we supposed to do with these things anyway? Because we weren't taught what to do when we have emotions. And at this point in life, if you're at middle age, you have so many emotions that are already built up that you feel like you're drowning. And your cup is right full, and it's very easy to overflow and to explode and to have anger issues and not to know what to do. And the fear is that if you begin to work on it, that it'll be like whoosh, and it'll open up the floodgates and you won't be able to stop it. That's absolutely not true. I found ways in which we can deal with the emotions without that happening. So you don't have to worry about that. Bridge number five is your inner conflicts. So the things that you are divided against yourself on. Sometimes there's one part of us that wants something and there's another part that doesn't. And we can be our own worst enemy. So this is more about beliefs than it is necessarily just about thoughts. It goes deeper. And it's something that we need to look at so that you make better choices for yourself that you want. Speaking of which, bridge number six is your relationships. So if you have some patterns that are repeating, where you find the same sort of relationship over and over again, that's something for us to look at. And it's not difficult to figure out why you're doing something. Once you see it, you can change everything. The looking at patterns, connecting the dots that analytical people like to do, this is full of aha moments for you. And if you have had addiction, then a lot of your relationships will have been damaged. And how do we do damage control? What do we do to repair them? For some people who are in relationship, their spouse doesn't understand them or doesn't understand the struggles that they've gone through. And how do I help these people to have better communication? Part of that is because I have an understanding of the mind and the brain type of both sexes. So I can easily give ideas of communication, be that personal or professional. If you're working in an environment where you have to have a good relationship with your coworkers, this also comes in really very handy. And then finally, bridge number seven is your goal and mission clarification. So basically your objectivity, What are you aiming for? What do you want? And how do you get it? Once you have things in alignment, your brain, your body, your mind, your emotions, your beliefs, your conflicts, your relationships, once you're able to navigate all of this, you can have a totally different existence. So what do you want? And figuring that out, to get clear on that and what we're aiming for, is really important. So that is a summary of the Seven Bridges journey. It's a very exciting journey that I go on with people. They don't have to be as far down on their luck as having addictions. They can be, as long as they're critical thinkers, there's all kinds of things that we can do together to help improve the life that you're living and to help you get over the bridge to the life that you want.